Welcome back to the show that helps you build a better life, one intentional habit at a time. Today, we are diving into a topic that keeps every parent, from the high-rises of New York to the suburbs of Chicago, awake at night. Raising mentally strong kids. But here's the shocker. Most of what we've been told about building confidence is actually, well, it's backwards. Stop telling your kids they are smart. Stop telling them they are talented every time they finish a drawing. By doing that, you might actually be making them more fragile, less likely to take risks, and more afraid of failure. You are likely unintentionally creating a fixed mindset, where your child feels they have to be perfect to be valued. High-performing cultures in countries like Finland, or even specific elite developmental programs right here in the US, do the exact opposite. They focus on the struggle, not the score. They achieve 30% higher rates of long-term resilience because they've mastered the one principle we're breaking down today. This is the validation-first foundation. It's the scientific secret to helping kids thrive in a world that is only getting more competitive. Let's get into why your current praise might be backfiring and how to fix it today. Statistics show that nearly 75% of parents in the United States believe that praising a child's innate ability, their natural intelligence, is the best way to build self-esteem. But here's the scary part. Only about 10% of those parents realize that this actually leads to a perfectionism trap. In high-pressure environments like prep schools in New England or sports academies in Los Angeles, we see a disturbing trend. Kids who are told they are naturals often give up the moment things get difficult, because if they fail, it means they aren't naturals anymore. Let's look at a real-world situation. Imagine a 10-year-old named Leo in a suburb of Chicago. Leo has always been the math kid. He gets his test back and it's a B-. He's devastated. You wanting to help say, "Don't worry, Leo, you're so smart, you'll get the A next time." On the surface, that sounds supportive. But the result? Leo hears, "I only value you when you are the smart kid who gets A's." He starts avoiding the harder bonus questions because he's terrified of losing that smart label. Or consider a toddler in a sandbox in Central Park. She's trying to build a tower, and it keeps falling. You say, "It's okay, you're a great builder." The tower falls again. She screams and throws the shovel. Why? Because the great builder label doesn't help her deal with the physics of wet sand. She feels like a fraud. When we focus on the label instead of the process, we create kids who are anxious, risk-averse, and easily discouraged. According to a 20-year study from Stanford, children praised for intelligence showed a significant drop in performance after a single failure, while those praised for effort actually improved. Why is this foundation so crucial right now? Because we are in the golden window of neuroplasticity. Between the ages of 2 and 18, a child's brain is literally wiring its response to stress and failure. If we get this wrong, we bake in a fixed mindset that lasts a lifetime. When you praise the result, you trigger a spike in cortisol when they fail. But when you praise the process, you teach the brain to release dopamine during the effort, even before the goal is reached. Think of it like a skyscraper. Most parents try to paint the 50th floor, the confidence, without checking the foundation in the basement, which is resilience. This doesn't just affect their grades, it impacts their future relationships, their ability to handle a tough boss in a corporate job in Houston, and their mental health when social media tells them they aren't enough. Research from the American Psychological Association found that kids who lack this resilience foundation are 40% more likely to struggle with clinical anxiety by the time they reach college. So, what is the exclusive solution? In top-tier developmental circles, they use the P.E.E.R method. It stands for pause, empathize, encourage, and reflect. It's based on the growth mindset theory by Dr. Carol Dweck. The goal isn't to make your child feel good in the moment. It's to make them feel capable for a lifetime. There are 3 core principles here. First, value the how, not the what. Second, normalize the moment. And third, transfer the power of evaluation to the child. Instead of saying, "You're a genius for getting that A," which is the old failing way, the P.E.E.R method would have you say, "I saw how you stayed at the table for an hour even when that third problem was confusing. You really stuck with it." See the difference? The first one is a judgment. The second one is an observation of a repeatable skill, persistence. In Seattle, a group of schools implemented this process praise and saw a 15% rise in test scores within 1 year. Not because the kids got smarter, but because they stopped quitting when the questions got hard. This works because of a biological mechanism called myelin. Every time a child struggles and then tries a new strategy, they wrap their neural pathways in myelin, making that skill faster and stronger. If you rescue them or praise their natural talent, that myelin doesn't build as thick. You are literally helping them build a faster brain by letting them struggle correctly. In successful cultures like Japan, the concept of ganbaru, which means to tough it out or do your best, is valued far above being gifted. Let's look at some hard science. A landmark study followed 400 fifth graders. They gave them a relatively easy puzzle. Half were praised for intelligence. "You must be smart at this." The other half for effort. "You must have worked hard." Then they gave them a much harder puzzle, one they were meant to fail. The smart kids got frustrated and gave up almost immediately. The effort kids? They worked longer, enjoyed the challenge more, and here is the kicker. When they were finally given the easy puzzle again, the effort kids scored 30% higher than their initial score, while the smart kids' scores actually dropped by 20%. Dr. Dweck, the lead researcher, noted that praising children's intelligence harms their motivation and it harms their performance. If you want a mentally strong kid, you have to stop being their cheerleader and start being their process observer. This is the standard in high-performance sports psychology used by the Chicago Bulls and the New England Patriots. They don't talk about being the best. They talk about the grind. Now let's turn this into a 4-week action plan for you. This is your checklist for transforming your home into a mental strength lab. Week 1 is all about the awareness audit. Your only goal this week is to stop the good job reflex. Most parents say "good job" or "you're so smart" about 20 to 30 times a day. It's white noise. This week, just catch yourself. When your kid shows you a drawing, instead of saying "it's beautiful," say, "I see you used a lot of blue in the corner there." Just describe, no judgment. You'll feel an itch to praise. That's the feeling of your own habit breaking. Week 3 is normalizing the struggle. This is where you add the validation element. When they are crying over homework, don't say, "It's not that hard." Say, "This is the part where your brain is growing." This feeling. That's what learning feels like. You are rebranding frustration as a positive sign of growth. By day 21, you'll notice they stop throwing the pencil and start saying, "Okay, I'm in the phase." Finally, week 4, transferring control. Instead of you being the judge, ask them, "What part of this are you most proud of?" Or, "How did you figure out that tricky part?" This moves the locus of control from your approval to their self-evaluation. This is how you raise a kid who doesn't need a like on Instagram to feel good, because they already know how to evaluate their own worth. Let's integrate this into daily life. Imagine it's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday in a frantic household in Atlanta. Your kid finally ties their shoes, or it's dinner time. Your teen tells you they didn't make the varsity soccer team. Remember, the foundation of a mentally strong child isn't a life without obstacles. It's the internal belief that they have the tools to navigate those obstacles. 75% of people are stuck in the intelligence praise trap, but you now have the P.E.E.R method. Start today with week 1. Just watch your words. In the short term, your kid might look at you funny because you stopped the constant "good jobs." But in the long term, you are building a resilient, confident human being who can handle anything the world throws at them. If you found this deep dive helpful, hit that subscribe button and share this with one parent who is currently in the homework trenches. Let's build a generation of mentally strong kids together. I'll see you in the next episode.